let's start with some real talk. And what I want to do is address our big question. Our big question today is it time to invest in a second home? Is it time to invest in a second home? Well, there's a couple of different things that we can, oops, I'm going to do that. There we go. Sorry, where is that? Investing in a second home. There's the right one. So when it comes to thinking about whether or not you should invest in a second home, I mean, there's a lot of things that come into it. But I just was reviewing the National Association of Realtors report on the growth of second homes. And they define second homes or vacation homes in counties that are primarily vacant most of the year. So it's not necessarily that primary resident. And generally, they attribute it to a lot of inflow of where you're going to spend your summers. And in other cases, it may be where you spend your winters. So they're not long-term year-round residences. So it's kind of about the occupancy. Now, one of the factors going into whether you should rent is, well, I think everybody's been paying attention to the stock market, and it's had some tremendous gains over the last 7 to 10 years. And so you may consider diversifying. And for me, as a real estate agent, it's usually in front of my face how valuable it is to to own real estate. The thing that kind of sets it for me is you can be in the stock market, you have great gains, and a lot of people trust their instincts and what they're doing there. And when you take a look at real estate, it is the only investment that has shown equity gains over years. Now, usually it's about 4%. Stock market sometimes is anywhere from 5 to 10%. But generally speaking, most stockbrokers would probably say maybe 4 to 5%. So you've got a reasonable return comparatively. The only difference is real estate is real property. Its value never goes to zero. In addition to it never going to zero, it also, if you can imagine, if I own some Tesla stock right now, or if I own some Microsoft stock right now, I would see the gains go up and down based on its performance, right? Based on the company's performance. And sometimes Microsoft is the mover and shaker, and sometimes it's Google. And so it can change from time to time. That's why people diversify their portfolio. The one thing that you can do with real estate that you can't do with anything else is rent your stocks. Right? I can't take my Microsoft stock and rent it to one of my friends or rent it to some stranger. But with real estate, that's the big kicker. Not only do you have appreciation, but you can actually earn money on your investment while doing it. So one of the things to consider when you are considering this is, do you want to have a vacation home or a short-term rental? Now, we'll talk about this and how to do that with our later guest, Jeannie. We'll talk a little bit more about the difference and which has the best return on investment. I think, just to be clear, a short-term rental is something like an Airbnb or a home away. And the key to picking how you want to do this is, do you want to become a landlord, or do you want to, whoops, I clicked on the wrong one. Do you want to self-manage it, or do you want to have a property manager? And as as you consider what you're good at, I know there are a lot of investors in mine that also self-manage the property, and they're retired and they can do that. But if you have another job and you want that investment to work for you, you might want to consider having that managed. And then the last thing I will say before I go on this topic is that we do have a vacation home report. So if you're interested in learning where some of these spots are that would be in demand, right, where you may want to, like, a lot of people choose their vacation home based on where they want to go, which is great. You'll probably find some commonalities. But I was looking at this report. I have it over here on this other monitor, and some of the top counties. Let's see. Oh, the one thing I wanted to point out is the shares total rise of vacation homes rose to 7%. And that's the highest rate it's been overall. Let's see, it was back in 2016, it was 4.6%, jumped to 5.1 in 2017. 2020 was at 5.5, and from January to April of 2021, jumped to 6.7, almost 7%. So there's a big kind of movement and push towards vacation homes. 55% of them were all cash. Let's see. So I was going to tell you the locations, and I'm looking for it. There we go. So the number one, the top 30, there's this report. If you want it, you can email or reach out to us on the Eastside Real Estate team, and we're happy to supply you this report from the National Association of Realtors. But Lee County was the largest growing vacation rental, and followed by Barnstable County, Massachusetts, Collier County, Florida. So there's 2 Florida counties, South Carolina, Harry County. So if you want a county by county report, and you may already have a place in mind, reach out to the Eastside Real Estate team. We will share with you that vacation home report. All right. So after our short break, we are going to bring in Tucker Maxwell, who's going to be talking with us about, we're going to talk about second investment loans and second home loans. So let's watch this short commercial break.